Okay, so this video is for everyone who has always wondered who am I and why should you even be listening to me. Okay, so it is going to be my introduction video. And who is Gaurav Bhagat? So of course, a problem solver, an entrepreneur, a coach and trainer, and a public speaker, also an upcoming author of the book Smash Bashed Yet Not Dashed. Right. So my introduction, I run Consortium Gifts. It's a great gifting company which I'm very proud of running. So I run Consortium Gifts. I also run the Gaurav Bhagat Academy, which is a fantastic sales and scaling academy and business. I'm also going to be launching GV Ventures, which will mentor and invest in businesses and handhold them and take them to the next level. All right. So let me start with a story which will put all of this in context, and so you'll get to know me a little better. Okay, and this is my story. And my story starts with those four wonderful words, like all good stories start, and that is once upon a time. So once upon a time, I am an ordinary boy growing up in Delhi. That's me standing outside my home at the age of 6, and I was a creative kid. So I said, let me take my creativity and make myself some big money. So how does a 6-year-old really go out there and make themselves some money? Okay, well, some of you may be aware of this comic, and this comic was called Tinkle. If you ever heard of Tinkle, just type it out in the chat box if you had. Well, there was this comic called Tinkle, and Tinkle would pay the princely sum of rupees 50 for every story that it would publish. And I know Uncle Pi was the editor, and I would keep writing letters to him, sending his submissions, and he would always say, Gaurav, you'll never get published, please stop. But like all good sales guys, I kept following up, I kept sending out stories, and one day my story actually did get published. When I was 16, I came down from boarding school in Sinha. I came down to Delhi for my summer holidays, and during these summer holidays, I actually went ahead and created 2 board games, right? And actually multiple board games, but the one board game that did really, really well was a stock market game. Did fantastically well. Finally, the rights were bought out by Leo Toys, who went and printed some like 40,000 pieces. And then I also made the WWF trump cards, and both of these made me some amazing money. Okay, great money as a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old, which I ended up putting in the stock market. And then of course it was all gone because the Harshad Mehta stock crash happened of 92-93, and it was all gone. So when I was 19, and during my first year in college, this is one of my defining moments, because it's when my dad comes home one day and he tells me, he's like, son, we need to go for a walk. And I'm like, sure. And on that walk, he tells me that we're wiped out. And I'm like, what do you mean we're wiped out? He said, it's all gone, everything's finished, we have nothing left. I had some bad business transactions, he told me, and now we have nothing. And that came as quite a blow, and he was like, so how much money do you have? And he's like, only the money that I have in my wallet. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? He's like, time to step up and do something. And it comes as quite a blow, when you've had a really great upbringing, very privileged upbringing, and then you find out that all you have left is the money that your dad has in his wallet. So it came as a big blow, but I said, okay, I will do something. So this time, while all my friends are figuring out which nightclubs to take their girlfriends out, or the girls are figuring out which nightclubs to take the boys out on in Delhi at this time, first year of college, right? I'm figuring out how to now save my family from financial crisis. And 10,000 rupees drawn on my Sana credit card was my starting capital. So rupees 10,000 drawn on my credit card, or my Sana credit card, was actually my starting capital, because there was no more money. And interesting times. How many of you have actually been solopreneurs? You would actually connect with this story. So as solopreneurs, we're the CEOs, but we're also the peons. And it's not a cakewalk starting out, right? It's difficult, and you have to do everything yourself, and it's not the easiest. And that's exactly the situation that I really was in. And I would go to companies and I would say, give me an opportunity, give me a chance to work for you. And they would always come back and say, you know what, you're not good enough, and you're not big enough, and you're not established enough, and you don't have the kind of clients that you should have. And I would always tell them, hey, listen, it's not the size of the man in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the man
just give me a chance. Let me just prove that I can actually do this for you. But alas, they wouldn't really listen. And the first big break for us came in 1999 when there was a gentleman called Madhusudan in Maruti who said, hey, can you make 20,000 jigsaw puzzles for us in 7 days? And I'm like, you know what, I can do it. I had no idea how at the time, but I said, I can do this. Okay, and then, I always say that someone up there really, really, really loves me, because the things then just started falling into place. We got more orders from Maruti, that order went really well. We got Touchtel, we got Compact, and we just got a whole bunch of clients, that just kept coming our way, and there was really no looking back. And fast forward 21 years, today, I actually own one of India's most respected and innovative gifting companies. It's one of my businesses, and we've come a long way. And it's an organization that's been built on sales. So purely on sales, built on sales. That's how Consortium Gifts has really been built. And we have some amazing clients like Coca-Cola and BMW and all the big fours and the banks and a whole bunch of multinational companies. So we have a very, very large base of customers now. And a lot of my story, a lot of my journey is also there in my book, which is Smash Bashed, Yet Not Bashed. We currently have 8 offices in 6 cities. We are in Delhi, Noida, Dehradun, and Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune. It's an awesome organization with 100 awesome people on the team. Some of my other successes, I know some of you would know of BNI. So BNI has been one of my great successes. Also IGC Global Promotions, I'll speak more about that in a bit. And then of course the CII as well. So we are a part of IGC. IGC is an organization that chooses only one gifting company per country. There's 46 of us around the world, and on the map you see that's us in India. And IGC members do close to $1 billion in sales every year. So it's a big honor to actually be a part of that group and be a part of that establishment. Of course, I represent India, very, very proud to do that. And that's me at the GMA in Macau last year. I'm also one of the key speakers and trainers for IGC as well. And our successes, my successes have also been 8.5-year member of BNI Gurgaon. Very, very proud to be there. Director consultant, lead regional education coordinator, and of course part of the training team as well. And any BNI members, in the house, hey, nice to have you here. If you're interested to know more, reach out to me. Okay, and part of CII, so 6-year member of CII, also on various state councils and various subcommittees at CII as well. But know this, that all of this started with me just working from home alone. Okay, so come truly a long, long way. But that's only half the story. All this while, I'm doing great. I'm climbing the ladder to success. Things are absolutely great. And one day I'm on a flight from Bagdogra to Bagdogra from Delhi, and I end up reading this book, and this book is Simon Sinek's Start With Why. How many of you actually read that book, right? It is absolutely fantastic. And this book just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. And the question I started really asking myself at this time is that what was my why, right? Was it helping others? Was it charitable causes? Was it giving back? What really was my why? So that's a thought that really started plaguing my mind a lot. And I came back to BNI Gurgaon, and I started by joining the training team, and hundreds would come to the room, hundreds of business owners would come to the room, and they would ask me, what do you do? And I would say, I'm in the gifting space. And they were like, seriously, what do you do? I'd be like, I'm in the gifting space. And they'd be like, okay, sure, you're not a coach or a trainer or, a public speaker. I said, no, dude, I'm in the gifting space. So all this while I started thinking, I'm delivering great content, but how could the impact really be bigger? What was the message? What was the medium? I really wanted to do more. Could I really go from someone who is climbing the ladder of success to becoming a ladder builder for others? And that's something that I started thinking about a lot. And late 2017, I set out on a journey. And this is a journey to learn from the best in the world. So of course you all know who that gentleman on your screen is. Yes, it is Tony Robbins. So I attended Tony Robbins in February 2018 in Singapore, and 2 weeks later I was also in Las Vegas, with that gentleman who you see on your screen, and that is Grant Cardone. So 2 weeks later, Feb 2018, I find myself in Las Vegas, humongous room, growth contour, and amongst 11,000 people, I'm also somewhere in the audience. And I knew that I would meet Grant Cardone. I just knew it. In fact, I was so confident I'd even taken a gift from him, from Delhi. And everyone said, Grant, why would Grant meet you, right? Like, you have the cheap seats, and Grant is so busy and all of that. But next day it actually happened, and I got to meet Grant, and that's me handing over the gift to Grant. And he told me about what he wanted from the world and what he wanted to give to the world, and I told him about what I wanted, and we saw like a direct connect over there. So met Elna with the course of the next 3 days, hung out with them a little bit, and this is what Grant has to say about me today. Let's listen in for a second.
What's going on, guys? I'm coming to you every day, every week, every month, and then I'm gonna actually come over there and see you guys and girls.
That'd be awesome.
I love this man right here. He's an awesome guy.
So yes, that is my mentor, Gaurav Bhagat. And so soon after we signed on the dotted line, we decided to become his licensees. So became the first licensee for Grant Cardone in Asia actually, and of course his sole representative in India. And the Gaurav Bhagat Academy was born. That's where the GBA really was born. And we've trained hundreds of people at the boot camps, physical, and of course now thousands online in the space that we're actually speaking at right now. So the 10x Sales Bootcamp, 2 days of amazing stuff that happens in the offline environment, but we also have a 5-week course that is in the online space. So the introduction to the GBA, our why is simply to become Asia's largest sales training and business mentorship academy by the 15th of May 2025. That is our why. Okay, I even have a number that goes with it. That's 409-00-000. That's 4 crore 9 lakh people. So 100,000 businesses and business owners, adding or creating 100 jobs each in their organization, impact 1 crore families. An average family has 4 people, hence we've impacted 4 crore people, and we also want to work with 9 lakh working professionals and graduating students and help them live what I call the 10x life, a life without limitations, hence impacting 4 crore 9 lakh people over the course of the next 7 years. That is my why. How will I achieve this number? Well, it's going to be boot camps, talking and speaking engagements, trainings, strategic alliances with other coaches and trainers, webinars, and online talks. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what brings me